For nearly 3 weeks now, educator and climate activist Sonam Wangchuk has refused to eat. What began as a hunger strike has now become one of the most watched protests in the country. As his indefinite fast enters its 20th day, Wangchuk makes an emotional declaration. He said that he would stay alive till July 20th at any cost so that he could personally lead a peaceful Sansad Chalo march to parliament. But this protest is no longer about Ladakh, the issue with which Sonam Wangchuk has long been associated, a protest that led to his jail. He was arrested then under National Security Act. This time, he has joined a nationwide student-led movement demanding accountability for alleged irregularities in India's examination system. He is demanding a comprehensive overhaul of the examination process following allegations of paper leaks. He has also demanded the resignation of the Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. And he has also called for ₹1 crore ex gratia compensation for the families of students who allegedly died by suicide after being affected by examination controversies. As the protest gathers momentum, Wangchuk's health continues to deteriorate. Doctor says he has lost more than 9 kilograms since beginning his fast. His blood pressure has dropped, and while he remains conscious and mentally alert, doctors have warned that he requires continuous medical monitoring. His conditions has become serious enough for the Delhi High Court to direct the centre and Delhi government to monitor his health every day. The question now is whether the government will respond before the situation turns into a full-blown medical emergency. Should the centre engage with Wangchuk's demand on examination reforms? And can a hunger strike still force government to act? Is it because that he gets a cold shoulder because the Cockroach Janata Party is there, the activists, something which has led to a lot of curiosity in the government when the Instagram account of the CJP in a very patriotic fashion outpassed the topmost politician of the country. So our conversation with my esteemed guest will be around what do we take from this hunger strike. I'm joined by Brijesh Pandey in studio, our input editor, Xavier Rodriguez, senior journalist and editor, Goa Chronicle, Sandeep Pukan, associate editor, The Hindu, and Shubhrasta, political analyst. I'll first go to Shubhrasta first. Shubhrasta, what do we make of this fast? A normal dissent? Is it telling of the? Is it more telling about the relationship between the street protests and the government, or is it more telling about the narrative around the protest, the sort of a different way in which the protests around Anna Hazare were received than this protest? What do we take away from this? There are two things happening simultaneously.
Thank you, Kartikeji. Thank you for having me here first. And let me begin by saying that every conversation that we have in the wake of these events must underscore the uncomfortable fact that students have died. So before we debate politics, narrative, and street dissent parliament, I think we need to I think we owe them, the deceased, that honesty. So I have immense respect for Sonam Wangchuk. I think anybody who believes in any idea would respect Sonam's commitment to a cause. The problem is when this kind of politics that he created around Ladakh gets completely co-opted by a national narrative, and he sits on a fast unto death. That's what he has begun to call it now. It seems like an outsourced politics to me. I am deeply disappointed as a youngster, though I'm not a Gen Z, I'm a millennial. Uh, did we not have people, you know, youngsters in 20s, 30s, 40s to sit for a fast like that? Why did we have to outsource it to a 60-year-old man? This question is no longer about whether people have the right to protest. Of course they do. The question is whether these protests have translated into any kind of institutional redressal. And when I'm saying so, I'm also reminded of Irom Sharmila. What changed with Irom Sharmila? What changed with Sonam? Sonam has been fasting for a very long time. It's not, I mean, national media and the kind of attention that he's getting now is, of course, within a particular context. But don't we know that Sonam has been advocating for certain issues and certain causes for a while now? My question is this: have these tactics changed anything institutional in how this nation looks at dissent?
Okay.
Look, I from day one I have maintained, and I will continue to maintain.
I think that's a very important point. Can I just stay you here for a minute? The way nation looks at dissent. Sandeep and then Savio and then Brijesh. Sandeep.
Well, Well, I mean, there are two ways to look at it. This happens with any government. It's nothing peculiar to this particular government that they haven't moved. This happens. That's why many activists believe that kuch hangama kar do, do something dramatic so that you catch attention and authorities are forced to act immediately. Otherwise, when you adopt more Gandhian way of protesting, the state takes a long time to react. And I'm saying that this is not any party specific issue. This is just the way our state, our system functions. If you recall, he has been on fast for so many days, but it's only in the last few days that some momentum has been generated with lots of people writing open letters urging him to end the fast. Political parties joining in. Several politicians have visited him, and there's some media attention. So I think I take Madam's point of view that there should be a more effective and a better way to engage with people who's opposing or dissenting a particular policy, rather than just wait him or push him to the brink where the person almost dies. I mean, in this case, I hope nothing untoward happens. But if you recall, there was a professor of IIT, G.D. Agarwal, who was protesting in Haridwar, and he ended up giving his life for a cause. Nothing much happened. That's the way it is. I agree with her.
Okay. Savio, my question is slightly different from you. Is it because that the CGP is part of it, one? Or the issue is complicated because the same gentleman was detained under the National Security Act a couple of months ago when the entire Ladakh went up in flames? And I don't mean that it happened because of him. I'm not sitting in judgment on Sonam Wangchuk. Savio.
Karthike, I had the opportunity of meeting Sonam Wangchuk around 5 years back, not 4 years. Let me describe him how I best understood him when we had that interaction for a couple of hours. So Sonam Wangchuk is an eccentric. He's very passionate about what he does, but he's also a mysterious person. Okay? When the issue happened in Ladakh, the protest that happened in Ladakh, the one thing that disappointed me completely, because I thought he would act differently, was he would ensure that it didn't go out of hand because people came to that protest because he called and he was leading that protest. So as a leader of that protest, a certain amount of responsibility to contain the escalation of that protest should have been his responsibility. The issue now is much to do with the concerns that he has raised. The concern that he has raised is valid. Okay, let's give the devil the due. Were there paper leaks that led to the agitation of a large number of students across the country? The answer is yes. Was it a momentum which is now building to ask for the resignation of Dharmendra Pradhan? Yes, there were many quarters that wanted the resignation of Dharmendra Pradhan. The question now is it what they are getting? Is that what they want? Because if you look at the Cockroach Janata Party and the protest around Sonam Wangchuk, it is much more than Dharmendra Pradhan. Because the NEET exams have been concluded. The results have come out. Yes, there have been complete failure as far as controlling paper leak is concerned. And I personally believe it has a lot to do with our inability to keep a check on the leakages happening via technology and also via a cartel that exists that wants these papers to go out because there's a lot of money to be made on that, right? So yes, as a government, the government has failed on that aspect of it. In fact, they had brought somebody very, very strong, Abhishek Singh, as a person to head that particular division. But even then, after the usage of technology, the leaks still happen. So these are issues that we have to deal with. Should Dharmendra Pradhan resign or should he be sacked? That is a decision for the government. Because I'm not concerned whether he's sacked or not. Because the problem will remain if the next minister comes in. The issue is we have not been able to come down to the real reason for the leakages. Because if there is a leak happening today and we have not plugged that hole, that leak happens tomorrow irrespective of the minister. So I think where the government needs to put its focus on, and where the CBI and other agencies have to be really, really stringent on, is where did our technology fail? Because technology was utilized to ensure the papers were secure, but it still leaked,
or
right? So Sonam Wangchuk's issue gets convoluted into politics when you have the people of the Cockroach Janata Party, you have political leaders coming out and supporting him, and all these political leaders are anti-BJP, anti-Modi, and right now anti-Dharmendra Pradhan. So I have a problem with that. The issue is you are not seeing genuine students impacted by such a failure of the government coming out in large numbers demanding accountability because they were busy giving their exams and many of them have passed right now the second time. It's not the right
or
position to be in.
or also,
But
or is it
but
also
where is the Gen Z? The
okay?
Gen Z is not coming out. So to solve a problem, what is the problem? The thing out here in this entire issue, which is grave, Kartikeya, it's a really serious issue because thousands of students go ahead and give the exam. Almost 24 lakh gave the exams and had to go back